Today's date is January 18th, and it is Sunday. And this video that I'm making is in regards to a text of a pilot. This is a chemtrail pilot that came forward and whistle blew, or blew his whistle. He basically came forward and he said, I'm going to tell almost everything I know about chemtrails, geoengineering, climate modification, whatever you want to call it. And he came forward and he sent out a letter to someone. I'm not sure who, but this is all about Indigo Skyfold, Project Indigo Skyfold, and also the second phase of the project, Indigo Skyfold Phase 2, which is imminent. It's coming this Wednesday, January 21st. So I'm encouraging everybody with a camera that's involved in chemtrail activity, get out there and start recording what you see on Wednesday, January 21st. No idea what time they're going to do this. Could be morning, could be late at night, could be during the day. No idea. Could be just after midnight. So they might start at, the 21st starts at, 0 dark, 30, whatever. So you want to get out there and record what you see. If we get enough people recording on this Wednesday, January 21st, 2015, maybe we can record what's going on out there. All right, this is the actual text of this chemtrail, geoengineering, climate modification pilot, who is an Air Force pilot, USAF, United States Air Force pilot, okay? He came forward because he just couldn't take it anymore, and he had to get it off his chest. And this is already out there. Just kind of rereading this, but no one's actually went after this with this eminent Project Indigo Skyfold Phase 2 that's happening this Wednesday, January 21st. So I'm going to read the actual text of the pilot message, and I'm going to read it fast. All right, this was sent out on December 8th, 2014 to someone. I don't know. But I'm going to read it, and this is all quote, I'm reading this, so it's quote whoever. This is the text of the pilot. Okay. My cousin, who was fired by our dictator just before making rank withheld, in other words, he made rank just before he made a certain rank, he was fired, which is if anybody's in the military, they know that that's bad, because you lose money and your retirement and everything else. But anyway, sent me information given to him by a friend who is still an Air Force pilot. Okay, so this information is from an Air Force pilot sent to another person. This pilot is saying that he flies chemtrail flights, with an explanation point there. This pilot told my cousin that this global engineering effort goes by the name of Indigo Skyfold, at least within the circle of pilots and aviation crews that he works with. They are told to fly specific routes and satellite comm links, control the aerosol dispersal patterns. All right, so they're flying the obviously they're flying the planes that spray the chemtrails. He says that they only make course corrections from time to time and perform landings and takeoffs. Pilot, navigation, and maintenance crews are rotated constantly and only spend about 18 months at one given base. He states that is to keep pilots and their families from making too many friends and ending up with loose lips. Plus, they also rotate between day and night flights. And yes, I've seen chemtrail flights at night. There's quite a few YouTube videos about it, and I've actually taken a couple of videos myself. They spray at night also. It's not as prevalent, but they do. All right, one base for daytime flights and one for night. Each base covers a 250-mile zone, and each fleet, squadron, in quotations, of planes can cover 3 states or an even larger swath of ocean. They are told to simply do their job and shut the F up. Their supervisors, their superiors will only tell them it's a matter of national security, and without these flights, our enemy's newest technological weapons of war could easily penetrate America's airspace at will. We are dedicated and committed to keeping our allies safe from the same skyward threats. So we extend the arm of protection to those countries who support our efforts. Hostile nations are also building atmospheric shields, while in the same discourse, trying to explore weaknesses in our ever-developing air and space-based technologies. So they're saying they're spraying the atmosphere to somehow keep us safe, so that our enemies can't do something, can't see, who knows, which is ridiculous. I think it's, it's just something they're telling the pilots so they're happy. They think it's national security, and what is it actually doing? It's barium, strontium, and aluminum. These things are slowly falling to Earth, and everyone's breathing and eating and drinking it, and it's bad for you. Okay, and it says here, sounds more like a PR statement to me. I think this pilot either believes what he is told, or he is simply trying to sugarcoat their genocide project. Now that's what this is a comment by the person that actually wrote this. Some people think that these chemtrails and everything that's falling to Earth is a slow kill off, like the great culling. Well, guess what? If you keep eating and drinking and breathing aluminum, barium, and strontium, yes, it will kill you eventually. Very slowly, but it will. And if it gets in all your food and your water, if you've got it in your lungs and you're drinking it and you're eating it, it accumulates in your brain and all your organs. And yeah, you'll die from it. Trust me. All right. And then it says December 8th, 2014. So it's just, my firewall detected multiple intrusion attempts when I Googled the Indigo code as well. Zero info to be found on the internet for this operation. That is unique. Okay, well, that was way back on December 8th. Now there's a lot more out there. If you Google Project Indigo Skyfold, you'll find a lot more. It's all over the web. But I've never seen anyone make a video about this imminent January 21st, this Wednesday, so I've decided to do this. Okay, on with the letter. I received a rather lengthy reply from the Chemtrail pilot. Here is that text from that person. First of all, I would like to say, all right, this is from the actual Chemtrail pilot, all right? First of all, I would like to say I do not agree with my mission assignments, but what soldier ever truly does? Several of us have considered bucking the ranks and going AWOL from time to time. We are kept in the dark when it comes to getting honest answers about what we are really spraying. Should they discover that we or our families are actively inquiring about your so-called chemtrails term, then automatic and swift disciplinary actions will be taken. HARP and radar are two other non-allowed research subjects. Unless our children are learning about these in base schools, we cannot educate ourselves or our children through any public tutoring system. I would not intentionally spray my children or my family with toxic aerosols, but you must know 80% or better do not have any family. What he's saying is 80% or better of the pilots, okay, the chemtrail pilots, do not have any family or children. Okay? Indigo pilots are chosen. In other words, chemtrail or Indigo pilots are chosen from top ranks within the Air Force, Navy, and Coast Guard. Most of these pilots are hardened to humanity and could care less about killing off unwanted or leeching aspects of America and the world. I swear to you, the majority of the pilots are like machines. I call them tanker terminators. It's unbelievable. They're still human. I can't believe it, but they want that paycheck, and they want to retire someday with their pension. But what's it going to be? What good is it if they're all full of aluminum and strontium and barium? You're going to retire with that? If your health is ruined, they're going to breathe the same stuff we are. If their health is ruined, what good is your pension or your paycheck? And this goes out to all the trolls out there too that's listening to this, all these guys with meta bunk and everything else. You know what? You're going to breathe this stuff just like us. Just because you're getting the checks doesn't mean you're not breathing you're breathing the air, drinking the water, and eating the food with all this crap in it, aluminum, barium, strontium. You are eating, drinking, and breathing the same stuff. Wake up. It's not worth that check you're getting. Okay, that's my rant. Back to the letter. I should not be telling you this, but nearly 1/3 of all flights are being orchestrated from small unarmed islands, where newly constructed bases are being built at a rate of 8 per year. On these extremely remote islands, there are HARP arrays of every possible design, with many arrays surrounding these islands. Within the depths of the ocean itself, the Navy has developed sophisticated underwater construction technology that allows fully autonomous robot submersibles to travel great distances and even manufacture parts for these massive underwater arrays as they progress across the open seafloor. Every time that you see or hear about military exercises at sea, they are basically there to give support and resupply their army of underwater robotic minions. That didn't read right. But anyway, there is possibly one aquatic robot per plane, and will soon be double that. Okay, so one aquatic robot per plane. All right, I'm not sure. I'll include the dialogue in my description so you can read this. I know sometimes I'm not the best orator, but I'll put this dialogue, all of it, verbatim in the description. Read it yourself. Anyway, I'm going back to the text. You will never be able to Google Earth search any of this, other than an occasional error in blurring some island bases or smudging images of underwater arrays. It is impossible to locate all these artifacts. They even paint fake clouds over some of our island installations to keep prying eyes away. I have been shown some of these images by civilian friends. That is the reason I know this. I completely understand your concern for human safety, but here's the kicker. We are shown videos in our training of catastrophic destruction to our homeland by very sophisticated weapons, then told that these will be the consequences if we don't fly. So they're saying you've got to fly and spray these chemtrails because our enemies are going to attack us if we don't do this. I don't agree with it. I think that's a big block of crap. Anyway, our efforts in building a defense atmospheric weapons shield are the only missions of its kind in the world. We are paid more than any other pilot for our service, other than Air Force One pilots, which Air Force One means that those are the pilots that fly the president around, who make as much or more as we do and are also kept in the dark secret world for their protection. They tell us that secrecy is our protection and not to listen to any public rhetoric. Don't listen to everybody that's saying, hey, these chemtrails are slowly killing everyone. Don't listen to us. No. We all know about cyber program Flashpoint, or FP-03 as it is known within the veteran community. This program is a self-destruct sequence that can be remotely activated from any groundwater, underwater-based, or other air mobile unit. The signal is encrypted through 3 satellites and cannot be jammed or blocked. At any given moment, you could have only 15 seconds to make peace with your God. So, this is the planes. They're saying these chemtrail planes have these self-destruct. Each one has a self-destruct mechanism inside that will completely obliterate the plane if, in case one of them gets compromised, so no one can see the spraying apparatus and tanks and things like that. And it's to go on. It says, have you ever seen any members of the crew survive the few crashes that have occurred? Every plane that has gone down was completely destroyed, for a good reason, I'm sure. In other words, to completely destroy the evidence of chemtrail sprayers and tanks and chemicals and whatever. We risk our lives in more ways than one. Every single time we fly, especially night flights, they are ordering us to fly at lower and lower altitudes. We feel like massive dark force empire. Now here, here's ridiculous. Okay, they're telling them to fly in lower and lower altitudes, which is ridiculous. First they're saying it's a shield for our enemies. Now they're saying to fly lower. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. And the shield thing doesn't make any sense because the stuff doesn't stay up there. You know, it slowly blows around and comes down to the earth. What kind of a shield is that? Anyway, we feel like massive Dark Force Empire crop dusters and know that one night Bubba or Billy Joe will fire their long rifles at us when we spray their moonshine making operation or pass over an illegal Mary Jane crop. So what these pilots are saying, they're flying so low that some people can actually shoot at them. I know for a fact that some planes have been shot at and subsequently brought down. That's horrible. By mostly Russian, Chinese, and Korean weaponry, but the media will never cover these events, as they are not allowed to report on our flights either. That must be true, for I have yet to see a detailed or in-depth report of our missions on any public venue other than conspiracy shows and anti-government websites. And of course, YouTube videos where everyone's, recording all these chemtrail flights all over the world. You everywhere in the world. YouTube videos are everywhere, so they are recorded there, but most people don't care. And most people are too busy driving around, going to work, raising their kids, trying to get to the next thing, appointment, whatever. I understand you're not looking up, but people, you've got to look up. I understand you got a busy life and children, and you've got to go to work, and I understand all that, but you've got to look up and see the crisscrossing of chemtrails, and you've got to ask why, what, where, how, and when. You just have to, or you're going to be breathing. Well, it's not you're going to be. You are breathing this stuff. Aluminum, barium, strontium. And if you need proof of that, look at Kristen Megan's videos that has proved the USAF in very large quantities at her base received those chemicals. And what are they using them for? She said they couldn't account for any of those chemicals at that quantity, that high quantity. There's no way they can account for it. And you got to just go look at a Kristen Megan video, and that will be described to you. Okay, on with the text. I risk everything for disclosing so much information, and you will find very few like me. Even my own flight crew would have me arrested and court-martialed if they knew of this dialogue. That is why I cannot email you directly, but from what your cousin tells me, you are also risking everything just to get this information out to your colleagues. I salute you, sir, for standing up to the establishment and Big Brother. I would love to go home tomorrow and not rack up one more single minute of flight time except for a sweet little Piper Cub or Rat Tail barn racer. I miss those beautiful blue skies, don't we? Listen, I grew up in the 60s, in the 70s. I never saw these crisscrosses in the sky. Never. And anybody that says, oh yeah, I remember that, no, come on. I was outside constantly. I never saw the crisscrossing and the chemtrailing that's going on now, and neither did you. And if you say you do, I think you're delusional, but that's just me. Most people I talk to never saw any crisscrossing the way it's done today. Once in a while, yeah, you get some exhaust or whatever, but in the crisscross patterns and checkerboard patterns and star patterns, and no way was that ever done. And we were outside all the time, we would have noticed it. Anyway, in fact, I remember early in the 60s, I remember sonic booms, where planes would go by and boom, and we'd all go out and look up. We never saw any trails. But anyway, on to this. I miss those beautiful blue skies, blah, blah, blah. I miss those beautiful blue skies from my youth, and I am ashamed for hazing over that dream. Maybe more of my fellow pilots will read or hear about this and decide to come forward as well. I only know a small fraction of the larger picture, and they compartmentalize everything. That's what they do. You only in the military, you only get one little thing that you know, and everybody has their own compartmentalized task. Okay, should I become aware of any new significant developments, I will email your cousin. He senses a wavering within the ranks and feels that a kind of mutiny is being boiled to the surface of this whole geoengineering, which is, chemtrails. Global whitewashing, if you catch my drift. So that means, he's saying global whitewashing, which is chemtrails. My cousin still has friends in high places too, so he is helping to protect him. So that's not written right, but my cousin still has friends in high places too, so whatever, somebody's helping somebody, which I hope to God they do. Last word from the pilot was, all pilots on leave are required to report to their CO by December 15th for special training operations to qualify for Indigo Phase 2 flights, expected to be initiated by January 21st. What does that mean by January 21st? Alright, so what that means is, I'll read that again. Everybody listen. All pilots on leave are required to report to their CO by December 15th for special training operations to qualify for Indigo Phase 2 flights, expected to be initiated by January 21st, which is this Wednesday. So listen, everybody, get out there and record what you see. Get out after midnight if you can. All day. Get your cameras out. Record what you can see. Those are his words, not the actual Air Force message. He wanted me to stress that. Now, I don't know what that means. Not the actual Air Force message. I'm not sure what that means. I'm kind of confused on that. He believes that the focus of their flights will be moved to areas east of California and Texas in order to progress the drought further into the heartland. Plus, he feels that a very few extremely toxic chemtrail mix. I'll start that over. Plus, he feels that a very new, extremely toxic chemtrail mix is going to be sprayed using new technology that makes these special chemtrails completely visible. Alright, now what does that mean, people? It means that we're going to see planes possibly on January 21st that are flying all over the place, and maybe you won't be able to see a trail coming out. They're going to be flying like the old days in the 60s with nothing coming out. The plane would just fly. No trail at all. Now, this could, according to this, using new technology that makes these special chemtrails completely invisible, which means they're spraying a new mixture of whatever. It could be super nanoparticles that are so small that it's completely invisible. Now I ask you, how could that be a shield? If you're a pilot up there, if it's completely invisible, how could it still be some kind of a shield to help us? You got to ask yourself that. So what is the point of spraying this? And he says it's extremely toxic. What are they doing? Are they spraying us like bugs? Is this the Great Culling? Is this Agenda 21? What is it? What are they doing? Everybody needs to watch out on January 21st. I don't know what's going to happen, but try to record what you see out there. All right. Atmospheric shield of protection. He doesn't believe that either. All right. Now that was the next thing that it was actually written here. Atmospheric shield of protection. He doesn't believe that either. So basically what I just read concurs for what I just said, that I can't believe it's an atmospheric shield of protection if you can't see it. But anyway, it says end of message text. So that's it, people. This is the end of the message. This Wednesday, January 21st, they're supposedly going to start spraying us like bugs with an extremely toxic chemtrail mix, using new technology that makes these special chemtrails completely invisible. I don't know what to do other than record it and upload what you see. Everybody needs to do this. And try you guys with the and women with the high performance, really high quality telescopic cameras. Try to get in close to these planes and get the numbers off of them if they have them, or any information you can, and record it. I don't have a camera that good, but if I did, I would. So that's all I've got to say. Good luck, everybody. Signing off. This is Chemtrails MN.